It's because Claire always has that bodyguard with her who's around her damn near 24/7. Hey, what's going on, folks? Yes, another episode of Just My Opinion with Ryan. Thank you all for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. This is your first time joining. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Also hit that bell so you can see other videos coming soon. Yeah, I would have put out more videos last week, but your boy has been down bad with the flu. My voice is still a little groggy, but hey, this has to get done. But last week it was much worse. I was out here sounding like a ASAP Rocky ad-lib.
Oh, check it out.
I'm feeling much better now. But nevertheless, let's get right into it, man. Ozark came out this past Friday, and this was the final season, the second half of the final season. And I must say, definitely has to give an applause. That show was phenomenal. I feel like that was some of the best writing, script writing that you could witness. That in addition to Breaking Bad, and there's some other ones in there, but Ozark was definitely a masterpiece. Just the way the writing room had a way of just putting you on this emotional roller coaster all 4 seasons, you know, and you're rooting for the birds, even though there's not really a good guy in this whole show. I mean, it's like, okay, the birds are like they about to get out of it, and then damn, something just catastrophic happens. That's just like a huge setback. But nevertheless, phenomenal show, one hell of a ride. I also appreciate how just the simple fact that, you know, shows know when it's time to just bow out. You know, all those shows can be great. You know, you can't have a show that's just going on too long. You know, so I'm glad they just kind of had this idea of when to bow out. But nevertheless, with all that said, this is kind of like a minor spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen the final season, part 1 or 2, you may not want to watch this yet. But instead of me, of course, just, you know, chronologically trying to review all the episodes of the final season, we would just be here way too long. I simply just have a few questions. If you come across this video, maybe you can help me out. Maybe you can school me on some things. So let me just get into it. In the first episode of the second part, when they get back, right? Who let Ruth into the meeting with Claire and the birds? That part kind of threw me off a little bit. And the only reason why it threw me off, and for those who don't remember, Claire was the owner of Shaw's Pharmaceuticals, I think it was. And she was having all these, you know, behind the back, under the table dealings with the birds. Nevertheless, yeah, who led Ruth into the meeting? Like, the reason why I bring it up is because Claire always has that bodyguard with her who's around her damn near 24/7. And, you know, it's not like anybody was expecting Ruth. Ruth just popped up. And so I was just like, the questions I have is very small, very minor, very nitpicky. But that's one of the questions. Who in the hell let Ruth into the Shaw Pharmaceuticals building, let alone into the room where where the meeting was happening in the first place? So yeah, that was my first question was, who in the hell let Ruth into this meeting? You know, she just upright crashed it. She ain't run into no bodyguard, no nothing. She just, I'm in here. I'm crashing shit. So that part really made me raise questions. The other part is Wendy Bird. It's like, no one prompted you to call Javi back in the first place. You know, she was one of those characters where it's just like, I'm gonna create chaos, and then after I create chaos, I'm gonna just be like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? She wasn't like that the entire series, but she had her moments where she created her own chaos and then looked up like, oh shit, what do we do now? And that kind of set the domino effect from this second half of the final season in place. It's like, you caused this. Just because Ruth crashed the meeting and was grilling y'all about this and that, calling y'all liars, whatever she was doing, and making it awkward and hostile and blowing up your spot in front of Claire. No one said you had to call Harvey into the room where he got set up and shot. And so that was one question I had. And just to fast forward, her name escapes me, but the lady from the first season, she owned the bar in the very first season. She stole the money, and apparently she was in Miami running some type of, blinders shop or something like that. It's like, my other question, once again, it was like, just how did Ruth just up and just find her so quickly? Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see like her like researching or Google where to find the woman at, nothing. She just got on a plane and made a beeline straight to the woman and was just like, hey, I got it where we can make some money. What's up? And it was just like, I mean, of course, I'm still rolling with the show. The show overall is phenomenal. Just those few questions. And I do understand where Wendy's coming from. So, sometimes, apparently she had like a very, rocky relationship with her father. And her father was, he definitely got annoying after a while. The more you saw him, the more annoying he got. He was definitely very ignorant to Ruth, obviously. And more than that, man, I think he did like a real, petty, real Housewives of Ozark type of move. It's like, you barely know your grandkids, but you want to take your grandkids away from Wendy and Marty just to get back at Wendy. I thought that was very, very petty, very, very, real Housewives like. So didn't really understand that as well. But nah, man, I know I've said it before when I did the top 5, shows I'm anticipating watching this year, but I will state it again. Anything that has Jason Bateman's name on it, whether he's the director, executive producer, of course, actor, and it's a drama, sign me up. I mean, of course, Jason Bateman is exceptional he's exceptional in comedies as well. But if he's producing, directing, or acting in a drama, sign me up. I think he's batting 1,000 in my opinion. And another thing that I think he is behind as far as producer-wise or creating, he's behind the other show, Under the Banner of Heaven, which is very good. A new review for that coming up soon. But overall, man, I felt like this was great. One thing I did miss, I will say this, one parting thought I did have overall for the Ozark season, final season. I really missed the days where like, how like movies, once the movie was over, they would show a picture of that particular character and give you some type of, summary of what that character is doing afterwards. I really wanted that because yes, the way Ozark ended, it did leave me satisfied. It's not like it left me, stupefied like the Sopranos final episode. But even though it did, and it left me satisfied because of this. When Jonah picks up the gun and he, of course, it just goes to black and you hear a gunshot as if he shot the detective. That was to me like just solidifying. All the loose ends are tied, and this, nosy detective popping up and him getting shot, that's tying the final loose end that allows the Bird family to go back to Chicago and do their thing. I love that. I did. But I can't help, like, maybe like 5 minutes after it was over, I just remember thinking, yeah, that was cool, but who's gonna, does 3 take over? Well, not take over. Does 3, become partners with the other lady in terms of running the casino now? What do the Birds do once they get to Chicago? Like, does Jonah open up his own, I don't know, CPA, tax shop or something like that? I still want to, like, are Marty and Wendy just running the Marty Bird Family Foundation or whatever they open? I wanted to know these answers. What's going on with Maya Miller? Is she still being blackballed? I wanted to know answer to all those type of questions. So it made me, you know, reminisce, or just made me miss that, where you see, you know, picture, quick summary, have some uplifting music at the end, I guess, just so you could be like, oh, okay, so that's what's happening to that character after it's all said and done. But nah, man, kind of a short review, as you can hear from my voice. Still a little under the weather, but definitely carrying on. I really appreciate you all watching. And once again, if you wanted just an introduction on some good writing, and you're just under the rock and haven't heard or haven't, you know, partaken in Ozark, definitely watch Ozark. I really feel like just the script writing and just the dialogue was wonderful. So, love it or hate it, that's my opinion. Peace.